All right, guys, the NCAA tournament has been revealed. The bracket is set. So let's take a look at the East region. First off, this region is absolutely stacked. All right, you've got Uconn, Auburn, Illinois, and Iowa State, four of the power conference champions. This side of this region is brutal. Okay, I wouldn't want to be in this region because there's just so many heavy hitters that you could get knocked out at any moment. Let's start at the top, Uconn and Stetson. All right, Uconn, obviously the number one overall team. All right, pretty heavily favored here. Let's look at Stetson, though. All right, they have played some tougher competition. All right, you played UNLV, you played Houston. They beat UCF, which is a Big 12 team now. Lost to Cincinnati, split with Charlotte. So Charlotte's a solid win, and apparently they've already got them penciled in as a loss against UConn. So I guess we'll go UConn here. All right, not much that's going to change my mind about that one. FAU and Northwestern, the 8-9 matchup, really good matchup here. FAU, first off, surprisingly an 8 seed, really shocking. But I'm pretty high on Northwestern. I know a lot of people aren't, but Boo Buie, Northwestern's best player, he can go. Then you got them versus FAU. FAU made that Final Four run last year. Let's look at their resumes a little bit. All right, FAU went over Texas A&M. All right, a single-digit loss to Illinois, a victory over Arizona. So they can beat teams, okay? Don't get it shocked, even though they had a bad resume this year. They can beat teams like Arizona, and barely losing to Illinois, that's a good loss. They got a win over Memphis, SMU, and apparently they've got a loss penciled in Northwestern too here. ESPN needs to fix that. But Northwestern, they do have a win over Purdue. All right, so that's a huge win there over a 1 seed. A 30-point loss to Illinois, that's not good. All right, but they have beaten Illinois as well. So you've beaten Purdue and Illinois. That's the top two teams in that conference. So that's really good for Northwestern. But I think this is actually a solid matchup here. Really could go either way, as with most 8-9 games. But I'm going to lean Northwestern here. Boo Buie, in my opinion, is the best player in this game. And FAU's just been too up and down all year. All right, San Diego State and UAB. San Diego State made that run last year to the championship. UAB actually kind of trending up. If they would have got a better matchup here, I might have leaned UAB. But let's look at San Diego State's resume first, their schedule. All right, so they've beaten Gonzaga, beaten Utah State, New Mexico, ton of tournament wins right there. Did lose to Boise and UNLV. As for UAB, you've got a 1-point loss to Clemson. That's not a bad loss. You've got a loss to FAU. You also have a victory over FAU, so they have beaten them. All right, so that means they can play with these teams. But I think San Diego State, too much here, too seasoned. They've been here before, like I said, so I think they're going to get the win here. All right, Auburn, Yale. Auburn getting hot at the right time as well. All right, let's first off start with Yale. Yale losses to Gonzaga, Kansas. So double-digit losses there, but not the bad teams. So those aren't bad losses at all. You got a victory over Princeton, which only had like 3 or 4 losses this year. Yale, though, sitting at 22-9. Auburn, 27-7. Auburn, all right, we know what they're capable of. Just won the SEC championship. Then over Texas A&M, Alabama, Mississippi State, and Florida. All right, give me Auburn here. Yale, I think, could keep this game close. They're not bad, actually, but I think Auburn's too much. All right, BYU and Duquesne. Duquesne getting in because basically that whole conference fell apart, and they ended up winning the conference tournament. Duquesne, 24-11. BYU, 23-10. BYU has some impressive victories. All right, in particular, they've beaten Iowa State. They've beaten Baylor. They've beaten Kansas. All 3 of those super good wins, super impressive there. As for Duquesne, all right, they have played some tough competition, lost to Nebraska, which is an 8 seed, and then lost to Dayton, and then beat Dayton in the tournament, as well as beating BCU. When I've watched BYU this year, I've been pretty impressed, so go and give me BYU there. All right, Illinois versus Morehead State, both sitting at 26-8. All right, Illinois led by Terrence Shannon, Domask, Coleman Hawkins, Morehead State. All right, pretty good record. Let's look at their resume. All right, 30-point loss to Alabama. 30-point loss to Alabama, 30-point loss to Purdue, 1-point loss to Indiana. As for Illinois, all right, we know the run they just went on. All right, pretty tough non-con too, losing to Tennessee. All right, they have beaten, Michigan State, beat Nebraska, beat Wisconsin. I think Illinois gets the victory here. Illinois is getting hot at the right time, and they have the guys, I'd say, to make a deep run. All right, Washington State versus Drake. Washington State, 24-9 out of the Pac-12. Drake, 28-6 out of the Missouri Valley Conference. All right, first off, Drake. Tucker DeVries, really impressive player. Dad is the coach. They have some impressive wins here. All right, 20-point win over Nevada, which is a tournament team. That's a huge win there. Got a win over Indiana State. Unfortunately, Indiana State got left out of the tournament. Wish they could have got in, but they didn't. As for Washington State, all right, you've got a win over Arizona. 2 wins over Arizona. Sorry, stand corrected. All right, so that's really impressive there. 2 wins over a really good team in Arizona. You've got a win over Colorado. That's a tournament win. I think Drake is going to be too much here, though. They have the best player on the court, and they're probably going to it almost every game. Give me Drake. All right, Iowa State, South Dakota State. Iowa State just ran through the Big 12, absolutely dominated Houston yesterday by, I don't even think they have it on here. There we go, by about 30. Then you've got South Dakota State. They have losses to Kansas State, UCF, a victory over Wichita State. I think Iowa State's going to be a little too much here, though. They're getting rolling at the right time. I wouldn't want to play them. All right, so going back to the top of the region, Uconn, Northwestern. Uconn is really impressive when I watch them. They're deep. All right, their starting 5 is legit. All right, Tristan Newton and then Klingon, which is not pictured here. Klingon's a monster down low. And as good as Boo Booey is from Northwestern, I think that UConn's going to be a little too much here for Northwestern. They run away with that one at the end of the day. All right, San Diego State, Auburn. San Diego State's been here before. This is a pretty intriguing matchup here, almost a coin flip. Auburn, like I said, won their tournament. San Diego State made the championship. This is a tough one right here. All right, this is a pretty good matchup, actually. San Diego State does have the win over Gonzaga, which makes me think they might could get this done. This is going to be a good game. I'm going to lean Auburn, though. I think they're a little more talented potential-wise, but that's a good matchup right there. All right, BYU, Illinois. BYU actually, despite their losses, is a pretty good team. They can go. They've been impressive when I watched them, but Illinois, I think, is ultimately too much. They've got the 2 best players on the court in this game, and Illinois gets the victory there. All right, Drake, Iowa State. DeVries, as good as he is, Iowa State is so long and tall on defense. They've got hands everywhere in the passing lanes. I think they're ultimately probably too much, and they're going to shut down Drake. But I really wish Drake would win that one, but I don't think they can. All right, back to the top, Uconn versus Auburn. All right, both winners of their championships. I think Uconn is getting back, though, this year because they won it last year, obviously, the national championship, and they've been impressive this year. They're on a mission. Give me Uconn. All right, then we got Illinois, Iowa State here. Iowa State, like I said, won the Big 12. Illinois won the Big 10. Illinois, though, Terrence Shannon, Coleman Hawkins, I think those 2 are the best 2 players on the court in this game, and I think they're ultimately too much for an Iowa State team, which is really going to give them all they can handle, but I think Illinois gets the win there. Which sets up a UConn-Illinois Elite 8 matchup set to go to the Final 4. UConn, you've got Klingon and Tristan Newton. Illinois, I've talked about them, Shannon and Hawkins. So a big man and a guard versus 2 wings pretty much here. Illinois, I think, is getting hot at the right time, and those 2 guards, I think, are versatile enough that they can beat UConn. This is going to be a bloodbath, though, but ultimately I think UConn loses to Illinois. Illinois gets the win there, sending them to the Final 4 out of the East region. All right, so that's my East region breakdown, guys. Let me know yours. Who do you think is coming out of the East region? Drop it down in the comment section. Also, join my bracket tournament challenge. You can see this down below. It's on the ESPN app. First place winner gets a free AG t-shirt. All you got to do, simply win the bracket challenge, obviously, and be a subscriber. To enter the tournament group, all you got to do, go to the community tab on my channel. There is a link on there. All you got to do is click it. Should send you right to it. But let me know who you think makes it out of the East region down in the comment section. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video. Most importantly, subscribe.